Happy Wednesday, everybody. Good morning. Stocks are bouncing from the buy zone. You can see Nasdaq up almost 0.9%. Came to buy zone yesterday. These green lines are the buy zones bouncing from there. You can see S&P 500 also bouncing from the green buy zone. Everything same. All indices are bouncing. You can see Dow Jones bouncing from the buy zone. Russell 2000 also bouncing. The only stock or commodity which is not bouncing is Bitcoin. Bitcoin, you can see, tried to bounce after touching 86,000, came back again right now as we are talking around 8:30 a.m. Eastern, again in the buy box. Okay, so this is where I'm expecting a bounce very soon on crypto. Even on Ethereum, I'm expecting a bounce. You can see touching the bounce right now. So let's review all the indices, guys. Let's review long-term chart. And please hit the like button. Only takes 1 second to hit the thumbs up button. I really appreciate that. And share this channel with friends and family. Okay, so this is the chart which I always look. If you're bull, I think it's gonna go to 64.60. If you're bear, it's touching to 55.82. So green line and red line, they're both possibilities. We are right now in the middle line. We came to neutral zone. You can see white line here, and that's usually where it comes always and then bounces. You can see time and time again, it comes to neutral zone and then it bounces. So it is trying to bounce now. RSI came very close to the green line. You can see here came very close to this green box. It could fail and go back down. That's possible, or it could just keep bouncing from here to towards the top. Okay, so both scenarios are possible. So I think NVIDIA earnings will do the trick end of day today. NVIDIA is showing earnings, their cards. It's already up 3% pre-market. But depending on the news, it's going to either go down to this green area RSI, or it's going to keep going higher to touch this top red box. So we'll see how it goes. But so far, it's all working out fine. It was a good opportunity yesterday, and now it's going to bounce. So that's what's happening right now. Let's go to daily chart and see how things are shaping up here. You can see this is SPX. If I go to weekly chart, I want to show you something very important. You can see we came and touched this white line, which is 20 moving average. Every time we touch this white line here in April, bounce. Here we came below in August, bounce. Here we came back and touched in September, bounce, and here we came back, touched in January and bounce, and now we are touching it again. Same thing on NDX. You can see same thing, touching the white line. Every time we touch or go below, we bounce, and you can see we came below. Now we're trying to bounce. So we could bounce, and a lot depends on NVIDIA. So even if we go lower, that's a good area to buy. Let's go to daily chart and see if there are any gaps on SPX. SPX, I don't see any gaps here, so we could bounce here and then could come back later in this area here, which is around mid of March. So a bounce could fail after NVIDIA earnings and come back and fill this gap. That's also a possibility. And on NDX, we have this top gap, which is still not filled, so they will try to fill that gap today. You can see gap down here. So they might try to fill that gap today with a bounce, and then it could fail again like I showed you on SPX and try to fill this bottom gap later on. Dow Jones also you can see trying to bounce, not able to close above this red line, which is 50 moving average, but today is trying to open up above that and trying to fill some of these gaps. Same thing with Russell. You can see Russell is below 200 moving average. Maybe they will try today to close above this 200 moving average blue lines. We'll see how things shape up. And if I go to crypto, Bitcoin, you can see Bitcoin came around and touched blue line, which is 200 moving average. And if it can bounce, that's possible. If not, then you can see straight up, it could come straight down. And the reason for it to come straight down is this gap around 77K. So just keep that in mind. There's also this top gap around 93K. So even if they bounce to fill that gap, it could come back later to fill this 77K gap. On Ethereum, that gap is around 2236 and below 1849. And if they want to bounce, they could fill this 2624 gap. So keep that in mind. Let's move to commodities. Oil is weaker, but this is the area of support, guys. This is not where you want to be bearish on oil. This is where you want to be bullish on oil. This is the whole area where you should be looking to buy oil. Okay, so this is the box of support. CNQ very, very, very weak, unfortunately. But this is the beauty. If I go to weekly chart, on monthly chart sitting right on this 50 moving average. If I go to weekly chart, also you can see it's sitting right on this 200 moving average. So usually it's acting as a good buy, but let's see if it can bounce from here. We'll keep an eye, but this is not the area you want to sell. This is the area you want to be buying more. Energy sector overall was okay. XLE had a nice pullback. SU had a nice pullback. We'll see how things shape up here. Moving on to Toronto Stock Exchange, also trying to close over these 50 moving averages like Dow Jones. Let's see if it can do that. Hang Seng Index, very explosive moves by the dip. Very explosive. This green line, 10 moving average acting as a support, just bouncing on top of that. Bond market is in front of resistance, 200 moving average. Let's see if it can close above that. That will be very explosive. But for now, it's acting as a resistance. Same thing with TLT. Massive gap up, so that could be filled at some point. We'll see when that happens. ITP had a massive bounce. This is home builders. Let's see if they can keep going higher. Natural gas again by the dip, very strong on this 10 moving average. Gold also had a nice pullback yesterday. 20 moving average touched it and now trying to bounce again. Silver, same thing. Silver had a deeper pullback, but let's see if it can bounce from here. Copper had a nice bounce. Sugar just flagging now after inverse head and shoulder bounce, just flagging here. Wheat also consolidating. Corn also came to this 50 moving average acting as a support. Maybe it will try to bounce, but you can see going higher on divergence. So a pullback was required, and that's what we're getting. Dollar finally bouncing on this green area. You can see you can put green little lower, and this is where the support is. Dollar, I'm expecting it to keep bouncing. What else is interesting? Apple is down after 9 count sell signal yesterday. Let's see if it can bounce. And NVDA earnings is the thing of everybody's talking about. That came to 200 moving average yesterday. Every time it comes there, it bounces. Okay, again now here. Again, it can be a new high or it can go lower. There's some gaps at 86 and 87, 67 and 118. So I don't know which way it's going to go. We'll keep an eye. Tesla had a massive sell-off yesterday, came to 200 moving average. This could fail, and there are more gaps here, guys. There's a big gap here around 251, another big gap around 215. So it's very scary, guys. Be careful. If it bounce, it could come back later. So I just want to make sure you guys are very careful here. If you want to buy stocks like Google is a good buy, Microsoft is a good buy, and even Amazon I think is a good buy. Nice recovery yesterday after touching 200 moving average. Nice recovery, I would say. Shopify was also down almost 4%, trying to recover. It was a big sell-off yesterday on most of the tech stocks, in my opinion. UNH also trying to recover. This gap will be filled. That's another good buy to recover to fill this gap. We'll keep an eye on MSTR talk of the day, and I was telling everybody this 270 gap will fill, and they filled it. You can see it went actually way lower, went to 250. I was only expecting 271 to fill. It went gap down and kept selling. Now in 200 moving average, it could still fail here, guys. There are more gaps. All these green lines are big gaps here. You can see this next big gap here around 232. It could be coming there. Then you can see all these dotted lines. So be very careful in crypto market right now. And lastly, VIX, after bouncing again yesterday, trying to fail now. I think it touched 21. So usually it bottoms around 20. So stock market bottoms around 20. So it will probably sell off and now try to fill bottom gap. So we'll see how things shape up. And that's it for today. Somebody asked me Air Canada. So let's see Air Canada. A requester asked me. So Air Canada, you can see going lower, very oversold. Okay, so now, but there are gaps here. I think this I kept it a while ago. I did not check. Probably this gap is filled. So I have to double check gaps, but you can see it's going lower. I still slight divergence on PPO, but you really want to wait for this to close above this 20 moving average, white line, okay? And also, firstly, this green line, very bad, very big sell-offs are happening, I think, after earnings. So probably it's going to come back to this support area. If I go to weekly chart, you can see on Air Canada, this is the area of support. So probably they're going to bring it back here. Uh, Somewhere here is a nice support. So little lower, probably around $16. This is where you should be looking to buy. But this usually acted like a nice support area. You can see long term. This is where I'm expecting it to go. Okay, guys, if there are any other stocks you want me to review, put a comment in the description. I will take a look. If you like the content, hit the like button. And if you want to join Discord where I share these levels with all my subscribers, click the join button and also share trades which I'm buying. And it will be very helpful for you. Okay, guys, take care. Bye.